Okay. Everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Hope everyone had a meaningful Tisha B'Av. Baruch Hashem, Hashem kept us safe. Baruch Hashem. We are now feeling that we're supposed to be feeling the Nechama, the salvation, right? Right? And which came about yesterday after Chatzos, right? Came about after Chatzos. That's why we were able to put on our tefillin and so on in the afternoon. And now we're going to start a new section. We're starting a new halacha today. In Likutey Halachos, we're in Hilchas Nesias Kapayim. So we're still in the We're still in the laws of priestly blessing. And the Rav Nosson is going to teach us a new lesson now, to further the understanding, based on lesson 34 in Likutey Moharan. And it starts off like this: Aleph, Al pi haTorah v'atem tiyu li mamleches kohanim. Right. This is in Parashas Yisro, right? V'atem tiyu li mamleches kohanim v'goy kodesh. Right. Hashem says to the Jewish people that we should be a priestly mamleches kohanim. Right. We should be a priestly people. Right. We're priestly people. Ayin Shem Kol HaTorah, the Rebbe says, Rav Nosson saying you should study the whole Torah. But again, Rav Nosson is going to give us, it's always advisable to read through the whole Torah, the whole lesson. But again, Rav Nosson in Aleph will always give us the highlights of the Torah. All right? And I always recommend that if there's anything that you really like and that's something that you're really interested into, so certainly go to that Torah and study it, because you'll see a lot more of it. Rav Nosson in Aleph, in the first, whenever we go through a halacha, remember Rav Nosson always in the Aleph of the halacha, he gives us the introduction and the highlights of the lesson he's drawing from whatever teachings of Rabbi Nachman. Right? Sometimes it's from Sipurei Maisias, it can be from Sichas Haran, it can be from mostly the time it's from Likutey Moharan. Okay, so this is the lessons now. All right. Now here we go. So let's and now we're going to learn, and it's also a beautiful idea that we're going to be learning more about the nekudos, right? The vowels, and the beauty of the vowels. And I really thought when I learned this, it was so nice, because we were learning last week. We were learning the idea of the nasa and nishma, right? That whenever you have a nishma to something, you don't understand it, then you understand it, becomes a nasa. Remember that, right? Remember, it becomes a nasa. And then we use the example of a child, right? That it seems very daunting to the child when he has to start studying, the letters. Wow, little kid, right? Kids to 4 years old, right? I got to read these letters. Why? It's a big challenge, right? Then the child understands. He reads the letters. He gets through that. So that goes from the Nishma becomes the Nasa, right? Now he knows the letters, right? He can identify all the letters, great, and he could spell he knows the letters of his name, her name, right, and all of that stuff, right? Then you teach the child the vowels. Oh, the vowels. What are all these things here, right? All of the right, and how this letter goes this, and this one does that, and this vowel does it, right? And then he understands that, and he can start to read, right? But now I love this, because now we're going to learn now that we really know anything about the vowels? No. We're going to learn the vowels all over again. We think we know the vowels, right? But the vowels are really always a nishma, because there's so much to be learned about it, and that's really of everything in Torah, right? Anytime you learn something in Torah, you learn that level, but then there's another whole level on top of that, and so on, right? Okay, so let's see. Okay, Ikar hatfila hu lakasher hanekuda. The main point in tefillah is to connect the nekuda from originally from the shriras hakelim, right? In other words, we had originally the shriras hakelim, right? The shattering of the vessels, right? And we're trying to always connect back. Yesterday we went to Rabbi Kramer, and he was talking a little bit about that, right? We want to talk back. We want to connect back to those the shards of the shattered vessels, right? And that's what we're trying.
The term he uses, they're begging to be redeemed.
They want to be. Of course they want to. Yeah. They want to be redeemed. Of course.
Who wants to be?
The shards.
Oh, yeah.
The shards want to be redeemed, right? They are begging, right? Because they're left dormant for such a long time until Jews show up there.
And they're all over the globe.
They're all over the place, yeah. And that's why we find ourselves sometimes in some strange places, because we're lifting up those sparks in those places, right? There's a reason why we gravitate to certain places.
Are they
right?
all on land, I mean, are they in the water?
That I don't know. I know of it being on the land. I don't. That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
Possibly it's in the water too. I don't know.
Find out.
That's a good question. Okay. Shei bechinas tzaddik meishel el alev. Right. This is the idea of the tzaddik meishel. It says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes a gezerah, and then the tzaddik can come, and the tzaddik can change the gezerah. Right. He can change it. With tefillah, right? That's what the tzaddikim do. What? Right? That's what the tzaddikim did. The Kedushas Levi was famous for doing that, right? There was big gezeres, there were different decrees in heaven, and he would be able to, with tefillah, change it. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, the tzaddikim are actually Moshel B. They are actually controlling me because Hashem says I make it the gezerah. Why? Because of the the courts up on heaven. They're causing me to make gezeres, but Hashem doesn't want the gezerah. So Hashem loves when the tzaddik comes along and the tzaddik uses his words. He uses his words to be mevatel the gezerah. Right? Amazing. We'll learn a little bit more about that. Chazeo inyan mashet tzrichim ledaber beinay levein koinay, and that's why we have to every day speak to our Creator. Every day we have to have conversation with our Creator. It's a very important thing to do. Talk to Hashem in your own words, right? In your own words. Yeah, we have tefillah. That's the organized prayer that we have. That's great, but you have to take time to speak to Hashem in your own words for things that you're feeling in that day, because every day we say we have something new that comes into us, right? So you have to connect to yourself every day, to your neshama of that day. How do you do that? You speak to Hashem, right? Whatever you're feeling. And you can do that any time, right? You can do that any time. Really, the best thing is to set aside a time to speak to Hashem, but you could do it when you're sitting in your car, when you're taking a walk. You could talk to Hashem, right? You could do anything you like. If you're afraid that people think you're crazy, take one of those AirPod things and put it in your head. Then you can talk all you want. No, it's great. No one will question you at all. If you're worried about that, all right? If you're worried about that, but you're speaking to Hashem is a very important thing. Lefare sichasai lefanav yizbarach la'oire libay la'avaydasai yizbarach, to awaken your heart to serve Hashem. Right? You understand? Speak to Hashem to awaken the heart to serve, to want to serve Hashem. Again, the feelings are in the heart, right? That's where the feelings are. The feelings, the hargoshas, the feelings are in the heart. So you speak to Hashem to awaken a feeling in the heart to motivate you to want to speak and to serve Hashem. And you're also supposed to speak to a friend, right? Somebody that you'll speak about Yireh Shemayim. Not just a conversation about, the politics, conversation about the weather, right? Speak to a friend about Yiras Hashem, some idea of serving Hashem in a better way, recognizing Hashem in your life. Speak to somebody. You should be able to have a conversation like with somebody each day, because again, each person has his aura of that day, and you have yours, so you can exchange your feelings with his feelings, and you could raise him, he can raise you. You understand? It's a very important idea. But again, he says here, Im Chavera B'Yireh Shemayim, right? Again, this is all in lesson 34, right? This is all in lesson 34. We're learning how to be Mamleches Kaihanim. He's teaching us how to be the Mamleches Kaihanim, okay? V'chein tzrichen ledaber im haTzadik ba'atzmai. And you also have to have a conversation with the tzaddik each day. We learned this concept. This is not a new concept. We saw this concept before, right? You heard this before? Right? We heard these concepts before. You have to have 3 conversations daily. We learned this in Hilchos Tefillin, Hilchos Tzitzis. Rav Nosson brings this all the time. It's a conversation. You're supposed to have 3 conversations a day, right? One with Hashem, one with a friend, and one with a tzaddik. So we said the Hashem, that we know is this both to speak to Hashem. A friend, so find yourself a friend that has similar values in serving Hashem, and work with that friend that can help you, and you can help your friend, and you can both exchange ideas and so on. And then have a conversation with the tzaddik. So if you can't have a conversation with the tzaddik, so what can you do? Study the words of the tzaddikim, the teachings of the tzaddikim, like we're doing. Right? You're studying the teachings of the tzaddikim. That's almost like having the conversation with the tzaddik. Okay, hakol kedei lekabel ora nekuda kedosh, because I want to connect to the light of that nekuda, of that spark, of that thing. I want to connect to it. I wanted to enliven me. Shu bechinas tzaddik Moshe lekashrei el alev, to connect it to the heart. Lahoyer bechinas pi yedaber chochmais. You see what it says here? Pi yedaber chochmais. My mouth will speak chochma. Okay? He's going to explain a little bit more. Don't worry. Letoich bechinas hagos libay betevunais. Right? The feelings of the heart will have an understanding. Okay? V'kedei levatel chelpras halev orlas lev, in order to nullify the embarrassment, right? The embarrassment of the heart, and the covering in the heart. Shehem kol ahavos rois ahavos hanefulin. Right? That comes, all of those things, the heart desires all the things that are necessary, could be wrong in the world, the things that love, the misplaced love, right? Misplaced love. There's a lot of misplaced, what? There's a lot of misplaced love in the world, correct? Right? People think that they love money. People love different, people love different things. They find, oh, I love this. People say a lesson like that, right? You tell them, I love this. Right? That's all misplaced love. And when you realize what's the real love is, to love Hashem, love the Torah, love the Jewish people, love Eretz Yisrael. That's real love. Right? Love the Jewish people, love Hashem, love Hashem's creations, right? That's true love. To cover up all the other loves at the heart, the feeling, again, the feelings are in the heart. The heart has all the different desires, correct? So to cover up all of the nonsense of the heart with this new nakuda, that it should overpower the feelings, the other feelings of the heart, again, to train the heart. Like we have the example of our horse, the rider and the horse, same back thing again. Okay, same idea. Okay? Ki sham eitzel ha-nekuda, shoyra ahava ha-kedosha, because that nekuda, that little nekuda, that special nekuda, has attached to it ahava. It has love attached to it, but again, the proper love. Not things that I love that are misplaced love, but that's the real love. Ki or ha-chesed nisha sham ayin sham, because the or of chesed, the light of true chesed. Avraham Avinu was the midah of chesed, right? Right. The world was created for Klal Yisrael, right? Bihi baram, like we said by Avraham, right? All right. That's the world was created for that. Chesed was but again, there's misplaced chesed, and that's why we have Yishmael. Yishmael was the first one that was born to Avraham Avinu, right? Because all of the misplaced chesed went to them, right? They went to them, and that's why they act the way they act, right? And they act the way they act because of the misplaced love. They have love for the wrong things.
Who has love for?
Yishmael.
Oh.
Yishmael. Ayin Shem. So if you want to see more about this, study more again in lesson 34. Vayidei ahava kedosha. Yes.
When we talk about love here, I've heard of two ways of talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Love being a verb, so it's what you do, and then the feeling of love.
Okay, a feeling is also doing something, right? It's a feeling.
Okay.
Or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
On some level, right? Ahava kedosha, right? Nispatlin kol ha-cherpas leiv, all the cherpa, all of the embarrassment of the heart, al kol peshoyim techasa ahava. And we know the idea, the beautiful statement, al kol peshoyim, on all of willful, even peshoyim are the willful sins, right? A pesha is not just an inadvertent sin, that's a willful sin. So ahava, love, can even cover over the what do you call it? Willful sins that a person has done. If he comes to true ahavas Hashem, right? And that's what we say when we do tshuva me'ahava, right? Tshuva me'ahava is a very important thing because then you take the iniquities and you transform them into merits, right? We're covering it over. See what it says over here? Ki al kol pishoyim techas ahava. It covers over. The ahava can cover over the pishoyim. So they shouldn't have that stench, right? Pishoyim, sins, have a stench, right? So the ahava can cover over it, like we learned the thing with the tzaddik, with the tzaddikim, right? Nerdi nasan reyach, nerdi, naft, right? Nerdi nasan reyach, right? Again, the tzaddikim, when you come to the tzaddik, he teaches you how to show you, like we say, like it says in what do you call it? In Shir Hashirim, shechoyra ani vinova. Right, we know the words in Shir Hashirim. Shechoyra ani, Rashi says over there, if you look over there, what is shechoyra ani? I'm blackened because of my sins. Right? Shechoyra ani, you understand? But I'm beautiful because I can do tshuva. Shechoyra ani v'nava, but I'm beautiful because I could still do tshuva. The tzaddik can teach me how to do that. But the tzaddik doesn't want you to take away the sin. He wants to keep the sin. So you can transform it. Don't get rid of it. Don't get rid of it. It's energy. Like we said, it's energy, right? When you spent your time to do that sin, right? Time is the most precious thing we have. So cover over the sin. Let's hold on to it until we can transform it into something good. Maybe you can understand, like when they make cheese, right? You take milk, right? And it has to spoil. And then it becomes something good, right? A lot of things are like that, right? You take something, it has to spoil, and then it can become something good. Take a seed, right? It has to disintegrate before it can become the flower, before it can become the plant, before it can become the tree. Same idea, right? You understand this concept?
Yeah, it's actually beautiful in black, like you're beautiful now already.
Yeah, that's right.
Because this black has the potential
of being amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the story, I say the story all the time, from the Kedushas Levi. One time the Kedushas Levi was taking a walk with his chevra, right? He was taking a walk in Baditchev. And he saw there was a commotion going on one street. So he wanted to see what was going on. So he saw the police were arresting this guy, Yankel. What happened? Yankel was a ganav. He was a thief. Not good to steal things, right? Right? It says in Torah, you shouldn't do that, right? Don't steal, right? The guy was stealing. So the Kedushas Levi went over to Yankel, and he says to him, "Oy, I'm a kan of you." He says, "I'm jealous of you." The great, illustrious rabbi, right? Goes over to Yankel, the thief, and he says, "I'm a kan of you. I'm jealous of you." So he says, "Why?" He says, "Because when you're going to do tshuva, you're going to be much greater than me. When you do tshuva, because you see, you stole so many things. When you're going to make tshuva on that, you're going to jump up much higher than I am." So the Yankel said to the Rebbe, "If that's the case, you're going to be even more mekan than me tomorrow, because I'm going to steal even more." He didn't get it. Yankel didn't. He didn't take it to heart. But what was the Rebbe saying? That the iniquities, these peshoim, are really something special. Now, I'm not suggesting go out and do willful sin, okay? But whatever we did, we have those things that don't discharge them so quickly. Their energy, there's something, then change them over. Okay, again, Sham Kol Heitevi. If you want to understand more about this, again, I'm just giving you pointers of the lesson because Reb Nosson is doing that, okay? But if you want to understand more about this, it's lesson 34. That's the lesson, okay? That's the idea. Tefillah, ayin sham ba'ois gimel, masha kosav sham, me'inyan hatfillah, shehu kidei lahamshech hashefa, ayidei klei hadibur. You have to bring shefa. You have to draw. If you want blessing in your life, you have to draw the blessing into your life. How do you draw the blessing into your life? With words. You have to speak. You speak to Hashem. You tell Hashem what you want, right? If you want something, you have to ask for it. Hashem, of course, He knows what you want, but you have to create something. And by you creating something, then Hashem can reciprocate, right? In other words, you have to say something. Right? You can be thinking all the stuff in your heart, and Hashem knows everything you're thinking. But if you want to make it into something that it has energy in order to bring blessing into your life, you have to speak. Okay? Bless you by the fact that you speak. Right? Of course, the words of the tzaddikim, they are fully complete words. They know how to speak. The tzaddik knows how to speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He knows how to accomplish things with his words, right? The tzaddikim know that. Therefore, the tzaddikim can draw a blessing and bounty. How do you translate shefa? A good word. Blessing?
Abundance.
Abundance? Okay, we want to bring abundance? Huh? Bounty. Blessing. Oh, I think blessing works better, right? Blessing has a bounty in it. Blessing has everything in it, right? Does blessing have everything in there? I think so, right? Okay. But it's hard to know how to translate each word, how everyone's going to like these translations. But okay. Oh, there we go. That's the melupim. What's the melupim? That's the line with the dot in it, right? That's the dot with the there's a line and a dot inside the middle of the line. A melupim. The vowel has a line and a dot. Like the word, like you say, kulam. Ooh, how do you get the ooh? You have a line with a dot inside. That makes the ooh sound. Right? Kulam, right? That's the dot. Melupim. Now let's understand what this word is. It's really, well, I'll just tell you like this. It's really a hybrid word. Right? Mole pum. In Aramaic, right? It's mole pum. What's pum? The mouth. Mole means full. It has a full mouth. In other words, words. Mole, he's going to explain now. I'm just giving you the idea of what this is, okay? Lahoiroi shapeh shaloi b'miloi uv'shleimus. The tzaddikim are considered this melupim, right? They're like this because they have the mole pum, because their speech is complete, and they can say the words properly, and they know how to affect with their words to bring blessing into the world. Wow, every single Jew has this ability to do this. Every single Jew has the ability to Moshel be. That every single Jew with their tefillah can cause Hashem to change things. Is that amazing? Every one of us has this ability. Look what it says, right? Here we go. V'chol echad ve'echad miYisrael yesh boy. Has within him, every single Jew, every Jew, has within him bechinas tzaddik Moshel. This idea, why? Because the Mishnah says, v'amech kulam tzaddikim, right? Right? V'amech kulam tzaddikim, right? The nation, the Jewish nation, were all righteous, tzaddikim.
That's what Korach was saying.
Yeah, Korach. Yeah, that was misplaced. But again, he had the right ideas, but it was misplaced. It was misplaced. Right? That's the same idea, right? He had the right idea. Yes, you're all holy. Right? But again, he didn't understand that Hashem was the one that picked Moshe. Moshe didn't pick himself. Hashem was the one that picked Aharon. Aharon didn't pick himself. He didn't want the job. Moshe didn't want the job. Moshe was fighting with Hashem for a whole week. I don't want the job. But Korach didn't understand. He thought that Moshe took all of this and he put all his friends and his family, everyone in there, and he left him out. Right? Yeah, that's what. Okay. What? What's that?
That happens a lot.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yes.
And then when they get the job, and they find out, oh, it's a lot harder than I thought it was.
Oh yeah.
How about that one?
Moshe Rabbeinu did not have an easy job. His job was not an easy job. Right? All the mistakes that we made, right? Yeah. Shehu bechinas melupim. This is the idea of the melupim, this vowel. Again, if you want to see the vowels, if you want to understand it, take out your siddur. Right, they usually have the vowels in there, and then you'll see the one. It's the line, a straight line with a dot in the middle of the middle of the line. Okay, right outside the middle of the line. That's the malupim. Anochi Hashem Elokecha hamalcha me'eretz Mitzrayim harchev picha v'amleu. Right, we say this every morning, right? We say this in the Hodu in the morning, right?
I do that. I mean, I'll try to.
You open your mouth, open your mouth, open your mouth, and Hashem will fill it up.
I'm good at that, you know.
Right, there you go.
Okay.
Harchev picha v'amleu. You open your mouth, make your mouth wide. Harchev, make your mouth wide in your mouth, and Hashem will fill in the words.
Yeah, that's it.
He'll dump in the words. What's so funny? Why?
No, this is Emma. If you got a little video under my tallis, I make faces. I do all.
So what's it say? Zeh bechinas malupim. That's malupim, right? They have the full words. Molei pum. Right? We said, what's a malupim? Molei pum. Hashem will fill up your mouth with what the words that can bring bracha into your life. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. Malupim hu bechinas nekuda. That's the nekuda, like we said. Im avav. It's the dot with the vav, right? It's a dot, right? We said, what is the malupim again? It's a dot and a vav. Why the vav? We know that the luchos were 6 by 6. The luchos, the tablets were 6 by 6. Vav, 6. Vav has the numerical value of 6. Okay. It has within it in all inclusive and something in its individual. Ki aseres adibros imaluchos, right? You have the aseres adibros, which are yud, right? 10. What were the aseres adibros? Aseres adibros are what? 10, correct? We had 10. There were 10 commandments.
Right.
10. Yud is what? 10. Yud is 10. Oh, so the dot is the Yud, that's the 10 commandments. And then the Vav is the Luchos that the 10 commandments were ascribed onto the Luchos, right? That's what you had on the Luchos, right? What were on the Luchos, guys?
10 Commandments.
The 10 commandments that were said were put onto the Luchos, right? So that's why the two go together. That's why the line with the dot go together. Why? Because the line is the luchos, the dot is the 10. The 10, the aseres adibros go together with the luchos. Okay, see that? And we thought we knew about our vowels, right? But look what we're learning over here, right? Did anyone know that the malupim is connected to the aseres adibros and the luchos? Come on. See, so now again, this became, now it went from a nishma to a nasa. Right? Again, this is like, wow, what is that? Now we're understanding it, right? I'm just showing you how all these lessons, they actually work, that you can actually use each lesson to build on to the next lesson, okay? Nimsa, she'ikra tefillah, the main tefillah is, he machma shebechol echad me Yisrael, yesh nekuda tova. Every single Jew has their wonderful point in them. They have a good point. Every single Jew has something special about them. And that's what the whole point is, right? Reish Pei Beis, right? The whole idea, Azamra, right, to find the good in every single Jew, always find the good in every single Jew. And why is that? We learned many, many times, but it's worthy to say it again, because every single Jew has their wonderful point in them. We don't understand it. And that's why it says, right? Don't judge your friend until you come to his place. How can anyone come to anyone's place? Right? Can anyone understand the parameters of anyone else's life? We're having enough trouble, I think, understanding our own lives, right? In most cases, right? I think most people are having enough trouble understanding their own families, their own life, their own acquaintances, and so on. And now I'm going to try to understand his? Is that possible? No. If I can't understand myself, how am I going to understand this other guy? But we said Hashem is Mekoy Moi Shel Olam. Ad Shetigia LeMekom Mo, to his place. But Hashem is Mekom Mo Shel Olam. Hashem is the place of the world. He is the world. So that's why Hashem is rightfully the one to be the judge, not us. Because we can't come to that guy's place. We don't understand anything about that person's life. We don't even understand ourselves. How are we going to understand him? Right? Okay, Nekuda Tova. Shehu bechinas Tzaddik Moshe, that every single Jew has this idea that they can change things in Shemayim. This is amazing, right? There's a problem going on in your life. There's a problem, chas v'shalom. There's a problem going on in the family. There's a problem going on with your community. Whatever's going on, you can change it with tefillah. We need to use words. We have to ask Hashem, please give me the words that I can say, fill up my mouth, right, with the right words that I should be able to say in order to bring the blessing that you want me to have. Hashem wants us to have the blessing, you understand?
To fill up my mouth with words.
With the words that I can accomplish asking for what you really want. Hashem wants us to have the blessing. See, we think Hashem is out to get us. No, Hashem wants to give us our blessing. He wants us to have blessing. Hashem wants to give us more bracha in our lives. You understand that?
He wants me to utter it.
But we have to say it. That's the point. Remember yesterday Rabbi Krim was saying you have to use your words. You have to say word. This is what it's all about.
My heart.
Words.
But you know my
it's
heart.
in my. It doesn't matter. But say something. You have to. It has to do something. You need again energy. You need the energy. You have to bring it out. Say it. Right. Say it. Create something. When you say words, you're creating something. You're creating the letters. You're creating letters. You're doing something. You're creating. You're creating the blessing that you need. Do you understand that? There's a difference between thinking something and actually saying it.
That's why I like something like Likutey Tefillah is a really good warmer upper.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Look, I can't say. I don't know.
Oh, just open up Likutey to any page. I'm telling you, you can do this anytime.
Gets you warmed up and flowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Likutey Tefillah, is that what you said?
Yeah. Rabbi Kramer was the illuminate in for many years. Right? He used to be in the yeshiva. He was the one that anyone had a question, they would come to him and ask him the question. He would give them the answer. You have that in yeshiva, illuminate, right? There's a guy that the go-to guy. If you have a question, he'll give you the answer. And Rabbi Kramer has his photographic memory, right? So he sees something one time, he doesn't forget it, right? That's why he can rattle off all kind of names and all kind of things because he has a photographic memory, right? I challenge anyone to be able to do that. They can't. There's no other rabbis can't do what he can do, right? Yesterday, all those names he rattled off, right? They make one mistake. Every name was right. He just kept rattling on, right? It's amazing. It's mamish amazing, and that's when he's fasting. Right? It's amazing, right? It's truly amazing. But anyway, everyone has in them this beautiful point. Everyone has a beautiful point that they can use in order to affect change. For Klal Yisrael, we said B'klolius or B'frotius, right? You could change the Klal, right? That's why when we say our Tehillim for Chayalim and we're saying our Tehillim, we're doing these things, they really mean something, right? The Mishaberach we make, it's words. They're words. So believe what the guy is saying. When he's saying that Mishaberach, if you're saying it yourself, believe what you're saying. And then when people say Amen, you have to say Amen to that. I believe, what's Amen? I believe what he said is true. Right? What does Amen? What does Amen mean? I believe. Emunah. Amen. I believe that that's a true statement. I want that. I agree with that. Right? Okay.
Because we can also have a statement we say to ourselves that is not a positive statement that can stick with us. It's kind of like there's a good and bad side to our words.
I don't know. Please give me an example what you're trying to say.
Well, in sales, like I'm afraid to call people on the phone. I don't want to be rejected. They're going to get mad at me. I'm intruding on them.
Okay.
Say those things in our out loud or in our mind, and that.
So what? But if you say those words out loud, so then you're actually setting up your faith.
Right.
Why would you want to say they're not going to answer me?
I don't. But somehow I got that from birth or whatever. But
how about you say, okay, I'm going to make a call now. The guy's going to love what I have to say, and he's going to want to accept my words, and so on. Right? Say that.
No, that's what I did to change. I said, Hashem, I'm going to make this call, and then the rest is up to you.
There we go. V'amech kulam tzadikim kefi hanekuda teva shaloi kein yochol lahamshich shefa al yedei adiba. Daika, through the words, right? Everyone's the tzaddik. They have something in them, right? Every one of us has a wonderful point in us, right? Everyone knows they have something, right? The Yetzer Hara tries to tell you you're no good. right? See, you're no good, you never were good, you're never going to be good. That's the Yetzer Hara tells you. But that's not true. That's the Yetzer Hara telling you that, right? He's telling you you're no good. Don't listen to him, right? Listen to the Rebbe. The Rebbe says you're good. You have good points in you, right? Listen to the Tzaddik. Listen to the Tzaddik and don't listen to the Yetzer Hara. His job is to tell you you're no good. So you tell him, no, what, you're no good. That's why you're telling me I'm not good, because you're no good. But I'm not connected to you, right? You're no good, right? Anyway, widen your mouth, and Hashem says, I'll fill it up for you. You widen your mouth. It's you don't actually have to widen it. It's
You do.
okay. So widen it. Okay, whatever. Do it, Yossi. Whatever
Do
you
remember
want.
Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Cookie Monster. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
That?
Yeah, I
So
know.
he comes into my tefillah almost every day. That's what I'm like. And truth is, I thought it was like Hashem filled me with like mitzvahs and stuff like that. So I was just like, and I'll make noises and like a Cookie Monster stuffing my face with and Hashem, I guess putting in my mouth.
Melupim, malay pum.
Yeah.
See what we learned today? Isn't this nice? Isn't this nice? Melupim, right?
Well,
Some people have-
is there a malupum there?
With what?
In there? Is
No.
there-
No.
Oh.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, Bamalei who?
Aha. There's a line and a dot.
Yeah. Don't you see? Look at don't you have a line and dot in your book there? Bamalei who?
You're saying on the hay?
No.
On the vav.
Yeah.
The oo is made from the hay sound.
Yeah.
So is it what's on the side of the hay with the dot?
No, but with the
or-
maluk, no. If you have the vowels in the sit, you have a sitter with the.
Here, show me if you could just show
You have
me.
the vowels in your book.
The dot next to one is the malupum.
Some people are born with wider mouths than other.
Yeah, so they have a chance to get more.
Yeah, this is the malupim right here. This guy right here.
Yeah.
Let me see.
A vav with the dot in it.
A vav.
A vav, 6.
Is a malupum.
We need the vav because we said the vav is the luchos, right? The luchos were 6 by 6. That's the maluchos.
So there's a lot of those vavs all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and that's called a malupum.
That's called the
And
malupim.
according to what we're learning, that
This is from the
every
Zohar.
vav-
This is from the
every vav that has
with a
that
dot in it.
has some sort of
Yeah, 6. It has something
Has six.
to do with the luchos. Yes.
has something to do with the luchos.
Open your
Yeah.
mouth when you see a vav with a dot.
Yeah, every time.
Isn't that nice?
Every time you see the.
You see the luchos, the holy luchos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all right, okay. Ve'ikah ha'memshola b'chinas tzaddik Moshe hu la'oyrulus oyrer halev l'Hashem yizbarach. The main point is to awaken your heart. Look at this. The main point is hu la'oyer, to bring light into your heart, to awaken your heart. Halev l'Hashem yizbarach, to be closer to Hashem. K'moshe kasav sham v'zeh naser ayedei adibar shel tefillah v'zbaydidus shehu sicha beinoi levein koinah. When you're speaking to Hashem, in your dot with your regular tefillah, right? In all of tefillah, especially Shmona Esrei, right? Those are your words to Hashem. You're speaking directly to Hashem, or when you're speaking to Hashem in His bodhidas, those words are very special words because those are your words awakening. That's why it says that the tefillah is a tefillah shebelev, right? We know that tefillah is an avodah shebelev. Tefillah is an avodah shebelev. Why is it an avodah? Because it's about feeling. Davening is about feeling. You're supposed to feel what you're saying. Feel the words. It's a feeling. It's an exercise of feeling. That's why it's an avodah shebelev. Why is it an avodah shebelev? Because it's all about feeling. Okay? Because that's how you can illuminate this nekuda, this spark, this nekuda, this wonderful thing that you acquire this day. You want to illuminate. You want it to be illuminated. You want it to illuminate you. My mouth will speak wise things. To put it into the heart. There's the mouth and the heart, right? To take the words of the mouth that you say. Let those words enter your heart. You're saying beautiful words. Hashem, help me. Hashem, this. Let those words enter your heart. Open your mouth, say the words, let them go to your heart. It's a beautiful idea if you could do that, right? Realize it's all about feeling. The bechinats v'hagus libi tevunais, right? The feel again v'hagus libi tevunais, right? It'll understand it's a bina, a new understanding. It'll come about a new understanding. Shayidei zeh nispatlin kol acherpas shalev. You can abolish, you can get rid of all of the embarrassment of the heart, because the heart was had all these other desires till now. But now you start to daven to Hashem, and your words start to affect your heart. Now you start feeling embarrassed. This is what I thought love was all about? This is what I thought it was? This is what I thought was important in my life? This is what I thought? Wow. And I realized, so it covers up the embarrassment. Shein kol ha'taiva shehem ahavas and the fulim, because all of those desires, right? All of the ahava and the fulim, the misplaced love that a person thought was important beforehand. Right? But now when he starts to open his mouth, right? Harcha picha v'amaleyu, right? And fill up your mouth with words. Now you say those words, but you say those words in a way that you're actually listening to what you're saying. That's what Rabbi Nachman says all the time. What is kavanah and tefillah? You want to have kavanah and tefillah. You know what he says? Say the words, listen to what you're saying.
Right.
Listen to the words that you're saying. Don't listen to your neighbor. Don't listen to what the next guy is saying. Listen to your words. Listen what you're saying. Can you imagine what that is? If you could really listen to what you're saying. I'm saying these words. Wow, I said this. Shema. So let the heart feel what you just said. Isn't that amazing, right? Let the heart feel it. Ki sham eitzel hanekuda tova sheira or ahava hakedaisha, because next to this nekuda tova, you have this beautiful the proper love. The love of Kedusha, the love of Hashem, the love of the Torah, love of the Jewish people, love of Eretz Yisrael, love the right love, where the love is supposed to be. Ayin Sham Kol Zahetiv. Again, if you want to understand this, again, you have to learn, you have to take out Likutey Moharan, lesson 34 this time, okay? V'atem tiyu mamleches kayhanim v'goy kodesh. That's the name of the lesson, okay? Last week we did lesson 22, now we're doing lesson 34. All right?
So we're done with 22?
Yeah, that was halacha dalet. Now we're in halacha hey. Halacha hey, and the Rab Nosson is drawing off of lesson 30. Okay, that's how it goes, and he tells you that. That's why he tells you. But always in the beginning of the new halacha, he always tells you, okay, this is going to be drawn from this Torah. So if you really want to understand what I'm telling you, right? If you really want to understand what I'm telling you, study the lesson from the very beginning of the lesson to the end. And then there'll be a different understanding. But Rab Nosson understands that not everyone's going to follow his advice and study the lesson. So he says, I'll give you pointers on the lesson. Isn't that great that Rab Nosson does that, right? Right? That's what Rab Nosson does. Okay, so I think we'll stop over here with this now. And we'll do Bays tomorrow. Well, let's do a little bit of Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, okay?
Where are we stopping?
At Bays, 2. We did 5-1 today, and now we're going to do 5-2 tomorrow, Ezrat Hashem, okay? Okay. Then it says, Kol ha'shlein halachas b'choya muftach laishu ben elam haba. Right, so let's learn a little bit of halacha. Okay, the Rebbe says it's very important to learn halacha every day.
Sure. Thank you.
4.
Where are we up to?
4.
We're up to 4? Okay.
Chapter 3, number 4.
Okay, that's we're up to. Fine. Okay, here we go. Ready? Okay, so we're in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Din levishus begadav hiluchay, right? How to get dressed in the morning, and your how you travel and what you do, where you're supposed. Okay, so they were up to letter 4. Okay, Dalet. Lefisha matzinu shayaminu hi chashuva b'Torah. We know that the right side is more important. Is that a good word to use? I don't know. It's more dominant. Okay, shkoyach. More dominant than in the Torah. Linyan avoda when it comes to avoda. So that's why when you give tzedakah, right, you're supposed to always try to do it with the right hand. We try to do it with both hands, right? If you're going to walk, when you walk, you're supposed to put your right foot first, right? And when you put on your clothing, you put your right side, right sleeve in first, put on your pants, your right leg first, and so on, right? Put your right shoe on first, and then you tie, right? We're going to learn about that, okay? Le'inyan avoda, le'inyan bohen, yad, ubohen regel, shel miluyim, v'shel mitzvah, right? So when the mitzvah or a person was got defiled with whatever tumah there was, so they would sprinkle his right thumb, right, and his foot, right. That's how they would do it. They would always do it with the right side. They would sprinkle the ash from the red heifer, right, from the burnt red heifer, right. They would sprinkle the red ash on the right side. Le'inyan mitzvahs chalitza, right. Also, if they have to do chalitza, right, you have yibam and chalitza, right. Today we don't do yibam, right. So they do chalitza, they do it with the right foot, always with the right side. They put that shoe, that special sandal that they use, whatever, with the straps on it, right. You know what I'm talking about? Right, there's a special shoe. They put it. It goes on the right side. V'lechein belevisha v'chein b'shar devarim, like we said a moment ago. When you get dressed, always put your right side on first. And again, when you're taking off your garment, you take off your left side first. Right? You put on the right side first. Taking off, you take off the left side first. Right? That's how you're supposed to do it. Okay?
Put the ring with your right hand on the right hand of the kala, no?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, right. All about right. Yeah. The olam yakdim shel yamin l'shel small. Always try to make the right more dominant over the left. B'chalitzas hamenolim, when you're taking off your shoes, uveshar begad. So when you're taking off your shoes, take off your left shoe first. Okay, when you're taking off your jacket, you're taking off your shirt, take off the left side first. Take your left foot out of your pants first. Right, when you're taking off you're changing your clothes, right? You take off your left, you take out the left, put the right one in first, take out the left, okay. The yachlit shel small, tchila, and then he says take out the left one first. Okay, there we go. Shazeo kavodah shel yamin, because then you're showing honor to the right side. Right, you're always showing the dominance to the right side. V'ach le'inyan kishira hasmall choshev yoser. When it comes to tying, right, the small choshev yoser, what does that mean? When you're tying things and you do the left side, because that's when we tie the tefillin on the left arm. Oh, there we go. Small. When you're tying, so let's say you're making a bow. So do the left side of the bow and then the right side, and then tie it. You understand? Give the preference to the left side when you're tying. Everything else, you do the right first. But when it comes to tying, because you tie your tefillin, right? So therefore use the left side and then the right side. Got it? Okay. Small chosh of Yosef, mipnei shekosh on the tefillin. V'chein l'tzarich yiksha shel small tefillin. Keep going. Minolim. Sheyesh bahem kshira, right? Your shoes you tie your shoes, right? You have to tie your shoes. Noyel shel yamin ve'enai kosh, right? So put on your right shoe, don't tie it. Put on your right shoe, don't tie it. V'noyel shel esa small ukshira, and tie the left. Put on the left one and tie the left one, and then tie the right one. Right? You know that, right? You put on your right shoe, don't tie it. Put on the left shoe, tie it, then tie the right one. Why do you do it that way? Now we just learned. Because you tie your tefillin on the left arm. Right? So when it comes to tying only, right? When it comes to tying only, you tie the left one first. Tying. Right? Because you tie the tefillin on the left. So we give the preference to the left on only with tying. But again, don't forget, you always use your right hand. You use your right hand to tie the tefillin, right? So we're going to learn. That's why the right hand is also very important. Very important, because you're using that hand to actually tie the tefillin. But since the left is connected to tying, so therefore, when any time you're going to tie something, give the preference to the left side first. What?
Relevant to anything else? The tying would be relevant to anything else, not just shoes, right?
I don't know if you're tying you're wrapping a present, and you make a bow. So make the left side first. Make the bow. You make a little. You make the thing on the left, and then do the right one, and then tie it. Right? I mean, something like that. The idea is to understand the importance. He really was getting to this with the shoes. The shoes are a very important thing. How to put on our shoes, right? And there's many stories about that. The Chaim b'shar begadim, and also with other begadim. Whatever you're going to tie, anything you're going to tie, you tie the left one first, and then you tie the right one.
Is that because the shoes are going on our feet?
Supposedly a true story. The helicopter crashed. And
Yes. Yes.
This one guy got out of line because he had tied his shoes wrong, and he went and
He took on one mitzvah. No, he went to someone's house for Shabbos. He was so amazed with it, and the guy, he wanted to do something for the guy. So the guy told him, "Hey, if you want to do something for me, do one mitzvah. He was a secular Jew, right? Take on one mitzvah, right?" And he said, "You know the story, right, Yossi? You know the story?"
I didn't.
Well, listen,
No. There was a Jew that was whatever. He was hitchhiking, whatever it was, and the guy took him in. It was right before Shabbos, and he needed to get to a certain place. And the guy said, "I can't get you there before Shabbos, but if you stay with me for Shabbos, after Shabbos, I'll be happy to drive you there." So the guy said, "Okay." He stayed with him for Shabbos. He loved his Shabbos. It was amazing. He never experienced the Shabbos before, right? So after Shabbos, the Chayal wanted to give something to his host for giving this beautiful experience. So he said, "What can I give you?" So the host said to him, you could take on one mitzvah." So he says, "Okay, what kind of mitzvah should I take on?" "I'll give you a very easy mitzvah. When you tie your shoes, tie them the way we just learned. Put on your right shoe, put on your left shoe, tie your left shoe, and then tie your right shoe." Okay? So he says, "Okay, that's easy. I'll do that. Fine." So what happened was one morning they had a special mission.
The next morning.
It was the next morning?
It was that night he got to his base.
Oh, I don't know if it was. I didn't know it was the next. Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
He got to his base. So Friday was the next morning. Okay, he got to his base. They had to get up real early in the morning. They had a special mission they were going to go on, and they had to go on a very special mission. And they ran. They had to get ready quick, and they had to be ready for their roll call, right? And they had to get into the thing. He's standing there, and he realizes, I tied my shoes wrong. So he says, I got to go back to the bunk, and I got to take off my shoes and put them on the right way. They said, you can't do that. We got to go now. No, I'm not going. I'm not going without doing this. And he went back in there. Meanwhile, the helicopter took off. It wound up blowing up, whatever it was. I don't know. Whatever. And the other ones didn't make it, and he was saved because he did his one mitzvah. He did his mitzvah. It's a sad story. We lost all the other guys, right? It was a very sad story, but you see the power of a mitzvah can really save a person's life, right?
This week in Abergel has like a total tidbits, handout. So they always tell a very good story. David always tells me, the first story of this book is always very good. It's a parsha, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, he tells a story of this shaliach who gets sent to South Texas, and
a Chabad shliach, or someone from here doing his shliach.
He actually no. They didn't say that he was Chabad. He was just like someone that some wealthy guy from South Texas left some money for there to be a Rav in that area, and they call New York saying we want you to send a Rav down here. And New York's like, look, are there any even Jews there? There's no restaurants, there's no kosher food. And then just at that moment, this rookie from the freshman class came in, and the secretary goes, we just got a call from South Texas, that's where you're gonna go. So the guy goes down there, and his mom is no yidin, and so he puts an ad in the paper, I'm giving a class on Judaism, this, that, and he gets all the food and gets the room ready, and he's excited. And finally, he's there, nobody comes, and towards the end, this one guy, Bernie, who works at a Mexican restaurant, came just to check it out. And they're talking, and so he's excited. At least there's one person there. So Bernie goes, look, I have to go. And he leaves without even this Rav finding out who he is. The Rav tracks down all the Mexican restaurants and finds Bernie, the worker, at this restaurant, and goes in to say, listen, you're like the only guy I've pretty much found in this area. can we talk? Can we learn this, that? So he goes, look, he goes, thank you, that's really nice. I'm actually just saved up enough money to go back to LA where I came from, and I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. He goes, but I'm so impressed that you tracked me down. Is there anything I could do for you? So the rest says, listen, if there's just one thing, can you order a kosher meal on the plane? Can you do that? So he's like, okay, if that's what you want, like you got it. I'll do that.
Okay.
So he goes to the plane. He orders the kosher food, and when they get to him, they said, oh, we're sorry, we gave away your kosher meal to somebody else. I didn't really think you would want it or something like that. So he's like kind of hungry, and he's like, but he remembered the rabbi. He goes, forget it, I'm not. That's what I told him. Whatever. But when I
told
land,
the rabbi I'm not going to.
When I land in LA, I'm going to go to a kosher restaurant and get a kosher meal, something.
At least I accomplished what I told
So
the
he
rabbi.
finds a kosher restaurant, online, and he goes to the restaurant, but it's during the 9 days. And it was a meat restaurant, and it was closed. So he goes to I can't understand, restaurant's closed. He's knocking on the door. He sees that there's a guy inside. The guy's like, listen, we're closed. It's the 9 days. He's like, I don't know, 9 what? He goes, look, I don't, look, I just wanted a kosher meal, So the guy was the owner of the restaurant. He picked up,
There's something here.
He goes, look. Why don't you come to me for Friday night dinner? All right? They'll have a kosher meal. I'll explain to you what the whole 9 days things is, and we'll take, that's it. You'll go from there. And he does. And I'm sorry. And the rabbi in Texas said to Bernie before he leaves, and if you could, just when you get back to, draw me a line, letting me know how you are.
Wow.
Anyway, 2 or 3 years goes by, and Bernie ends up sending a letter to the Rav saying, hey, this is what happened. Went to this guy's house. I'm now married to a frum lady with 3 kids.
Wow.
I don't know
A special thing happened to me yesterday when I went to the Kotel. I went to the Kotel yesterday for in the morning because we didn't have a Nate's minion over here, but it was very special. I met a couple of people that came over to me, and they said to me, "Oh, I listened to your class."
Get out of here.
No. There was one guy, and he wants to come here. Wednesday, one guy. His name is Yuval Springer. He's a guy that he's from Holland. He told me something so special. He said, he said that I was not religious in Holland. I didn't really know much. I started listening to the classes in Likutey Halachos. This is what the guy told me. The words he said to me. He said to me, and then he says, I wound up deciding I want to learn more. And now he's in the yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael in Yerushalayim.
No kidding. Wow.
No.
This is a guy that was stopped. Did he recognize you?
Yeah, I was walking out, and he comes over to me. He says, "Are you Chaim?" So I said, "Yeah, I'm Chaim." So he says to me, hey, whatever. It was a very beautiful thing.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's a beautiful story on many fronts, because
No, the guy
but the backstory, and this is the Hashem part, is the whole thing we were talking the day before.
Why I had to go? No, I had to go to the minion over there. I said,
I want to put tefillin on it. I want to daven, but there's no need. And you were,
yes, I want to tell you, with the tefillin over there yesterday was wow. Half the guys were wearing tefillin. Wearing tefillin. It was and then on this one they were doing birchas kahanim. They weren't doing birchas kahanim. It was.
You let it go, so spring.
But it was amazing. Yeah.
It comes alive, and for all I know, spring will end up here. And who knows?
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, let's just do one more quick halacha here. Hey, Yizor mililvoish shnei begadim biyachad mishum dekosher l'shichacha. Don't put on 2 garments at the same time. Right? Don't put on 2 garments at the same time. Let's say you have 2 sweaters. You took them off, and now you have them together. You want to put them on. Don't put 2 garments on at the same time, because it'll cause you to forget your Torah learning. You hear that? It's amazing.
Taking off the same thing, no?
Take off also the same. Don't put on or take off 2 garments. Let's say a lot of times, some people have 2 pairs of socks. Right? It's cold in the winter time, so they put on 2 socks. So they'll put on 2 pairs of socks at the same time. Don't do that. Don't do it. Put on one, put on the next one. Don't put on one and then the other one on top of that. It's a big Indian in the Zaya, whatever.
Meaning, and then even when getting undressed.
Don't take off 2 garments at the same time. So if you're wearing an undershirt and a shirt, don't try to don't pull the 2 of them off together. Take off one, take off the other. Put on one, put on. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. This is what kosher l'shikha. We don't want you. You don't want. Listen, we have enough trouble remembering our Torah, right? So why do we want to do things that are going to cause me to forget it, right? So that's another halacha. When you put on your garments, one garment at a time. Don't put on two garments at the same time. Kosher l'shikha. Okay.
It's hard to imagine that what seems to be a very little thing has some level of importance.
Yeah, every little thing, you'll find in the kitzur, you'll find in Shulchan Aruch, every aspect of your life, you find out what to do. Anything you need to know, it's found in the book. Everything we have the total coverage on everything that we could possibly need.
Okay, so I was looking for something in here and I couldn't find it.
What were you looking for?
I was looking for when you have bread on Shabbat, whenever, and when you're doing Birkat Hamazon, I did find where it says you should leave the crumbs.
She'll leave bread on the table.
Huh?
She'll leave bread on the table.
I always saw crumbs, but if you leave it on the table, my wife will take the bread, she'll put it in a plastic bag.
That's
and then
fine.
she'll put it
On the table. If it's on it, you can put it in a plate, but leave bread on the table because you're supposed to show that you have a lot of that Hashem gave you so much blessing that you even have bread after you finished your meal. That's showing the blessing that Hashem gave you more than you actually needed. That's why you're supposed to keep it on the table.
It just didn't seem right to put it in
Others
the
say
bag,
you're
though.
supposed to keep the dishes on the table too, but that's another problem. But the wives don't usually like that.
Transparency.
All right, anyway, so everyone have a wonderful day. We should have the Sorah Tov. Shkoyach.